Could you have her satellites more adjusted to like be able to tell them apart, not tell them apart? Should you always be guarded?
Oh, we should always be guarded, Queen Sheba. First of all, I love your phrase, have our satellites. I think that's fantastic. To answer your questions, The Suffering Room is the second book. The third book will be the last one about Dr. Aaron Stein. I've written the last chapter of the third book. I know what happens.
Wait a second. Third book. We don't know about the third book.
Well, there will be a third book.
Oh, get out.
Yes. The third book is, the second book is The Suffering Room.
You're totally tutoring me when I take my psychological class.
Of course. I'll be right there with you, grain crackers and all. The second book is The Suffering Room, and the whole point of it is that the only prison from which we cannot escape is our own mind. And Aaron knows this. So he creates the prison that these women live in long after he's gone. That's the true suffering room. Beyond any kinky torture he can think of and any mental manipulation, they cannot escape their mind. That's the second book. Yes.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, have you gotten any kind of backlash from the book? I mean, as far as like the guys go, right? Like I'm pretty sure there's a few guys that have probably opened the book and read a few pages, and they're probably like, really?
I mean, I'm sure women can be this way too.
Women can be this way, but this is about Aaron Stein, right? This is about him being a savage.
Man, savage doesn't quite cool.
He is the serial killer of souls.
He is. He's like a collector of souls because these women don't get him back.
Now, do you get any kind of backlash, or do you get any kind of like suggestions that maybe one day, or maybe maybe sometime in the future, you should possibly have a book about maybe his wife? You know, how she deals with everything and her psychological issues.
What her view is.
Or what her view is. Yeah, I think that'll be a great.
I second that.
Yeah, I think that'll be a great book, to be honest.
Thank you. I'll answer all your questions. I do get very significant reaction. One person gave me back the book in many pieces, having ripped it up. I knew that when I wrote this book, and that's fine. I respect everyone's feel. That's fine. In fact, that's fantastic.
Was it a he or a she?
I would like to leave the person, just in case they're listening, as completely unidentified. So,
well, he or she, that's all we want to know. He or she?
Female.
Female. Oh.
That might have hit home.
I think yes. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh.
I think it does hit home with a lot of people. Every man who's read the book says to me, "Am I Aaron Stein?" And I say, "Oh, please don't flatter yourself. You're not Aaron Stein.
Oh, shoot.
Aaron Stein is a complete figment of my twisted imagination." Right? In the second book, when you do see what happens to him and how his life becomes a very public life, which will cause him, that's a bit of a spoiler, which will cause him to begin looking into what's happened to many of the women he encountered or targeted, shall we say. You're then going to find out what psychopaths do long term to their victim. There are so many various forms of post-traumatic stress syndrome that kick in here. You've got women who have depression, some commit suicide. Many of them have difficulty having any kind of intimate relationship, whether it be a sexual one or even an emotional one with anyone in the future. They develop all sorts of problems as a